All right, in this lecture, we're going to go ahead and draw a picture using two-point perspective. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we want to do, as always, is create a horizon line. Now, I'm going to create my horizon line more towards the top, so we're looking down at our image or our object. So I'm going to go ahead and lightly draw that in. And then I'm going to put my two vanishing points, one at this end and one at this end. Then we can go ahead and get drawing. So in this image, I think what I want to draw is a house, and then I'm maybe going to draw a street next to it and a building. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to draw my vertical line for the corner of my house. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw, and I might make that a little bit taller actually. And then I want to go ahead and draw a line for my vanishing point to that corner. So let's go ahead and do that. And remember to draw very lightly until you know exactly where you want everything to be, and then you can go ahead and draw those lines in darker. Then we'll go ahead and do it from this vanishing point to this corner. All right, great. So now we have part of our house. Let's go ahead and create the edges of our house. So I'll create one line right here, like so. And then I'll create the other line over here, like so. Next, let's go ahead and create the roof for our house. So this house is going to have a very simple roof. I'm just going to make it a diagonal roof. So all I have to do is basically extend this line right here up, like so, and then I can go ahead and draw a line from this point down to that one. And now that diagonal roof is in correct perspective. We'll go ahead and do the same thing over here. So first I want to go ahead and draw this line from this point to that point. And then just eyeballing it, trying to copy that same exact diagonal angle. I want to go ahead and try to copy that over to this side, like so, and I'll go ahead and draw that in like that. And then we can go ahead and add an overhang on this roof just by extending our lines a little bit further. I'll do the same thing on this other side. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect these two lines by drawing a line from my vanishing point all the way down to this corner or edge of my roof. Go ahead and connect that. Perfect. So now we have the roof of our house. Next, what we want to do is we want to add some doors and windows to this house. So let's go ahead and do that. So first, let's start with the door. So the door is just going to start off as a straight up vertical line. So go ahead and draw that in. Next, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and draw from this point back to our vanishing point, like so. And then we're going to go ahead and draw our vertical line coming straight down from there, like so. Then we want to have this sort of indenting into our house, so we want to have a ledge on that. So what we'll do is we'll connect this vanishing point to that corner right there. We'll go ahead and draw that in for however deep we want our door to go in. So I want it to go about there, and then I'll go ahead and draw a vertical line going straight up from that point, like so. And then I want to go ahead and connect from this bottom corner to my vanishing point to create a bottom edge for my door, just like so. So now we have a door. We can go ahead and add in a doorknob on there if we wanted to. Now let's go ahead and add in a window on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line from my vanishing point to here. So that's going to be the bottom of my window right there. And then I'll go ahead and draw a vertical line coming straight up. That'll be the top point of my window. And I'll go ahead and draw a line coming from this point back to my vanishing point, and just eyeballing about where that is coming straight up from there. Then I'll go ahead and draw that line in like so. And then we want to add some crisscrossing pieces to our window. So I'm going to go ahead and add those in. So I'll add one line coming across like so. And then I can go ahead and add in my vertical line. So I'll add it about there. Perfect. Now, what if we wanted to add a window on this side, but we wanted it to be at the same exact level as this one? How do we know where that is on this plane? Well, the way we would do that is we'd go ahead and lightly extend our line from the top of this window to this corner, and then we do the same thing with the bottom. And then from each one of those 2 points, we connect it back to that vanishing point. So we'll connect that one like so, and we'll do the same thing for this one. So now we have the top and bottom point so that we have our window lined up on the same level as this one. So let's go ahead and draw the window in on this side. So I'll go ahead and start off by drawing my vertical line like so, and then I'll draw my second vertical line right here. And then I'll go ahead and draw the middle one. And then we can go ahead and solidify those bottom and top lines. Like so. And then we can go ahead and add in our middle one just by starting from our vanishing point and coming to about the middle. And if we wanted to, we could do the same thing again to get this lined up correctly. We can go ahead and draw a line from this vanishing point to this line and then bring that to this corner. And then we'll do the same thing over here. So we'll come from this vanishing point back to that corner where that lines up. And then we can go ahead and draw in our middle line on our window like so. All right, perfect. Now let's add a chimney to this house also. So the way we'll add in our chimney, and I know this is really incorrect, but just for demonstration purposes, we're going to add a chimney right above this window. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a diagonal line a little bit further in from this one. So we'll add in a diagonal line about there. And then we're going to add a line coming straight up off of that. So we want to add a vertical line coming off of that. And that'll be the corner of our chimney. And then what we want to do is we want to connect back to this vanishing point and then come back to here, like so. And we want to eyeball it so we're about right above this line, and then we'll connect those with a vertical line. Then let's go ahead and create the other plane on this side. So all we have to do is connect that point back to our vanishing point, like so. And we don't have to finish the line all the way back to the vanishing point. We can just make it shorter because we know that we want our chimney to end right there or about there. And then we'll go ahead and create a vertical line on this side. And then we need to connect that point all the way back to there. So we'll go ahead and connect that to that vanishing point like so. We can go ahead and darken in that line. And then let's go ahead and create our top surface. So we already kind of have our line right here for that edge because we already have our roof line lined up with it. And next what we want to do is we want to connect that vanishing point to this corner like so. And then we want to go ahead and create a hole in the top of our chimney. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and create a smaller square within this square. So we're going to connect this like so. We want it to be a little bit shorter so it doesn't touch that edge or that edge. And we'll do the same thing down here. So we'll connect it right about here. Whoops, that was really off, sorry. So let's try that again. We want to come a little bit further in from this line. So we want to go ahead and connect it a little bit further in. So we'll connect it to about here, should be good. All right, that works better. And then we want to go ahead and connect from that vanishing point back over to here, like so. And then we'll do the same thing on the bottom. So now we have sort of a smaller square on top of this larger square. What we want to do next is we want to go ahead and draw a vertical line coming straight down from there, and now that makes that appear like it's an actual hole. All right, so next let's go ahead and create a road or a street for our house. So we need to finish creating these bottom lines, so we need to solidify those. We'll solidify this side also. And then we want to have a road coming straight down here right in front of our house. So let's go ahead and create that. So it's just like one point perspective. We just come from this point, come all the way down like so. And then we can do the same thing on this side, just like so. And then if we want to add a ledge to this curb, all we have to do is go ahead and draw a line coming from our vanishing point, but a little bit lower than our first line. Just like so. Perfect. Then let's go ahead and add a corner to our curb. So we're going to bring this line coming over here, connecting it, and we might want to come out a little bit further, so maybe to about there. We'll go ahead and connect those, and we can just go ahead and draw that in by hand. Draw that one in by hand. And then let's go ahead and create the bottom line for our curb, just like so. And then we just add a vertical line right there to add the corner of our curb. So now we have a sidewalk curb for our street. Next, let's go ahead and let's create a skyscraper over here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line coming off of my vanishing point over here, like so. And I think I want the corner of my skyscraper to be right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw a vertical line coming up off of that. Just like so, all the way up into the sky. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect my top edge.
Remember to draw lightly, that way you can always come back and erase.
All right, now let's go ahead and connect these two vertical lines. So we want this edge right there, and we'll put this edge right over here on this side. And then we can go ahead and solidify all these top and bottom lines. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line right there, and then I'll put a line right here on this bottom edge, like so. Do the same thing for the top. Just like that. Then let's go ahead and add some windows onto our skyscraper. So we're going to make this in a glass skyscraper, so it's going to be very simple. We're just going to put basically a grid system on our skyscraper. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and use our ruler, and I'm using centimeters, but whatever you want to use, go ahead and use that unit of measurement. But I'm going to go ahead and add a little mark every 1 centimeter. And then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and connect a line coming from each vanishing point to each point on both sides. So I'll go ahead and do that now. So starting with this one, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up because this might take a little while. All right, great. Now we want to go ahead and add in the vertical lines for our windows. So I'm going to skip every other rectangle on here because we only want the windows on one little area, and then the next part is going to be the floor and all the air conditioning and stuff. And so in real life, you'd probably only have every other one of these being windows. So that's the way we're going to do it. So what we want to do is we want to create a vertical line coming down like so. And then we're going to come over and we want it to be about the same space. So at this point, it's not going to be that noticeable, but the further down we get, it's going to get smaller. So we'll add another line like so. And then as we come over here, we might have it become a little bit skinnier. We'll come down a little bit further and it gets a little tiny bit skinnier. And then we'll come down a little bit further. And then we'll come down a little bit further. And then let's go ahead and move on to this side. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so it goes a little bit quicker. All right, great. So now we have the windows on our building. So now we've created a house and a building and a road in 2-point perspective. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and break up my horizon line because like we said before, horizon lines generally aren't going to be completely flat and straight unless you're out in the desert or on the salt flats. So let's go ahead and add in a skyline of a city. So a city line, I guess. So let's go ahead and we're just going to draw in some random sort of rectangles just to represent some buildings out there. We might even add a dome on one of them. All right, great. So there is our city line. Let's go ahead and erase away any of these lines that we don't want to see, that were just our guidelines. All right, great. So now we have our 2-point perspective drawing. Now I wanted to do this demonstration drawing for you so you guys can understand how 2-point perspective is incorporated into drawings of real life objects. So your assignment for this lecture is to go ahead and draw your own 2-point perspective drawing. If you want, you can copy this one, or you can draw your own of whatever type of building you want, whatever it is, as long as it's square and cube. Then once you do that, I want you to go ahead and take a picture of it and post it to either the Q&A section of the course or the Facebook group. Thanks for watching this lecture, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one where we're going to draw a 2-point perspective drawing, but we're going to incorporate all of our highlights and shadows and all those things that we've learned about up to this point in the course.